welcome to anybody. Series of letters written by my dad, Jimmy Hodge, and I'm his son, Kevin. Reading one of them a day so that we can look back over 26 years. Today, some fairly famous, still quite famous people, Richard and Judy. Now, Richard, I think now is on a fairly frequent daily, the morning programme. But then I think back then they had their own programme, and they as an experiment really, or as health education, they had folks on, and one of the doctors there was showing you how the males can check their testicles for prostate cancer and ordinary cancer, because obviously the early diagnosis things the better. I'm not sure Dad got it quite right, because he was quite critical of that and thought it was not perhaps the thing to have on daytime television, and saw it as a bit of titillation, and he cited a Channel 4 programme earlier that had taken some couples away and given them Viagra and then brought them back onto the set to see what happened and tell us all about it, and apparently that was not frowned upon. I think today, with modern educational things and the whole drive to diagnose cancer quickly, perhaps would say brave thing to do now, but then it would seem to be a bit more titillation in Jimmy's eyes. Although he did have a nephew, my cousin Jamie, who sadly died with testicular cancer when he was in his early 40s, and I think he left the diagnosis a bit late, so he didn't think he had, but I think the honest answer in hindsight was he did. So maybe not such a bad thing to do. Jimmy then talked about the drunken passengers from yesterday, and apparently there was a cartoon in the paper saying, with a passenger being slung underneath the aircraft, saying, "Sir, we hope you're having a pleasant trip." So that was quite nice. And then it said, lastly, because of the recent cold weather, police officers in the Peak District of Derbyshire were now wearing Russian-style fur hats, which I have, and I love it, but my wife thinks I look silly. But it's warm, it's cuddly, I like it. But so they were getting a little bit of given a little bit of grief for wearing Russian hats. And then there was a postscript with Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall, who apparently had split with the aging singer, who was aging then. So we're talking 26 years ago. So now he's still going strong, Mick Jagger. So the Mail gives a description of the wedding ceremony, during which Jerry lay on a raffia mat while Jagger unsheathed his sword and pierced the mat. "Well, I've heard some stories in my time," said Jimmy. So that was today, on the 19th of January. More to come tomorrow and in the next number of days. So mind how you go. Take care.